Hello, happy Sunday. It is time for your focus for the week tarot reading. It is for the week of Sunday, May 28th, 2017. We'll take a look at 3 cards to see what the cards want to tell you to focus on or think about or consider as you go throughout your week. And we're almost through the month of May. It has gone by so fast, and June is right around the corner, so stay tuned. At the end of this reading, I have 2 announcements to tell you about for the month of June. Okay, so let's get started. I've already shuffled up the deck. I've divided it into 3 stacks, and I'll choose the first card off of each stack for your focus for the week tarot reading. Okay, so the first card that you got, oh, so interesting. What an interesting way to start this reading. It is the 10 of Swords. And so as you know, 10 is all about the completion of a cycle. And this actually does look kind of scary and violent, and it can be a little off-putting in this deck, but really it's not necessarily a bad or a scary thing. Your Swords cards are all about your thoughts and your beliefs, and the idea of having a 10 of Swords right now here at the end of May, it makes me think that you have come mentally in your thoughts and in your beliefs, you have recognized that something is changed, has changed, is changed, or needs to change. And that is such great liberation for you, because I think it's been weighing on your mind for a long time and kind of been, there's a lot of repetitive parallel ideas going on here. So it's probably been something that's really been kind of poking at you, stabbing you, and maybe even making you feel stabbed in the back a little bit. And I think you right now can come, either have already or can now come to the realization like, okay, time to change, time to let this rest in peace. Just let it all just flow out, let it rest in peace, and let me start something new in its place. So it can be scary, it can seem unfortunate, but I think in the long run, in the big picture, you're going to look back at this transition and you're going to think, I am so glad that happened for me. Okay, so what an interesting way to start. The second card that you got is the Sun in reverse. Okay, so this is interesting because we just talked about recognizing a mental transition, recognizing the idea of letting some thoughts and some ideas rest in peace so that something new can start and grow in its place. And you got the Sun, which is the 19th card, but you got it in reverse. And so when we think about the sun, we think about, oh, the sun rising, it brings a new day, it brings new light and new brightness. And since you got this card in reverse, it makes me think this transition will not just be like, oh, one night I go to bed and then the next day the sun rises and everything's normal and fresh and beautiful again. I don't think, unfortunately, and as you know in life, things are not necessarily that easy and simple. So I think the cards are acknowledging to you that this is the right path, this transition, this change, this thought framework that you're letting rest in peace so that something new can start. But it's not necessarily going to be easy. You will feel unaccomplished or unfulfilled in some of it. Maybe you won't have that immediate joy or excitement that you hoped you would have once you started this transition. But I like that there's 2 figures in this card, and I like that there are sunflowers here. To me, that is about optimism, and that is about working with other people and being with other people and recognizing the value of sharing and relying on others. So recognize that this is not going to necessarily just be an easy transition that you wake up one morning and you're like, oh, solved, ready to go. It won't necessarily be that easy, but you can focus on optimism, you can focus on your support network and recognize that eventually, yes, the sun will rise. So it's not a done deal yet. This 10 of Swords isn't a final thing, because remember, this is all about transition. Okay, and the third card that you got, also in reverse, the King of Swords in reverse. Okay, so there's a lot of different thoughts and thinking going on here in this reading. When we look at the King of Swords upright, we see someone who is decisive and ruthless and very determined and very powerful, powerful ideas, powerful thoughts. And we also see that he's holding like these stalks, I don't know agriculture, but I'm assuming stalks of like wheat maybe, or corn. And so I think what that shows us is that his thoughts, or his ability to be very precise and cut away that which doesn't apply, he can actually then take what is valuable from whatever's left, right? So it is a very good skill to have, to be able to kind of cut through weeds or cut through overgrowth in order to get whatever harvest that you want out of it. So you got this card in reverse. And so again, I think this reading for this week, especially here in between May and June, here we are, I really think, oh, I got these reversed from how you got them. I really think this reading is acknowledging that your transition is happening and it's okay. It will run its normal, if that's such a thing, course. I mean, transitions do take a while to go through. You have to, acknowledge it, and then you have to understand it and make peace with it, and all these different steps that you have to go through. And so I think the King of Swords being in reverse is also showing you that you may not feel decisive. You may, in fact, feel like a little wishy-washy or a little flip-floppy. Be aware of that. Catch yourself as you start to backtrack, or as you start to wonder and rationalize to yourself, oh, but maybe I can still, but if only I still, but if they would, no. No, that is all done, right? It's done. So there's no more, but maybe, but should they, but could I? No, don't be indecisive. Just go ahead and be like the King of Swords and just use that mental clarity and just cut right through just to get to the heart of the matter so you can feel successful and so that you can feel masterful. So don't be surprised or alarmed if you do start to feel indecisive, especially because you may have decided something, but now you're having second thoughts about it. Don't be alarmed by that. It's totally normal. Give yourself some grace about it, and then do some work with yourself and maybe also with someone else, right? Maybe talk it through either to yourself or journal about it or meditate or talk with a friend or a family member and really understand and recommit to what you have decided to do so that you don't feel like, oh, now I'm afraid I've made the wrong decision. I don't think you've made the wrong decision. I think the cards have indicated it's done. So that's ready to move on, and just respect that and respect that life moves in cycles, right? So just like you got the sun, it's like the world turns, the world revolves, life moves in cycles. Okay, so interesting. For your numbers, you got 10 and 19, so that's 29, plus the king is 30. Wow, what a surprise, right? 3 plus 0 is 3. 3 is the number, as we've had many, many weeks, the number of expression in community. And that takes me right back here to the Sun card that you got in reverse. It's about sharing this transition with people who love and support you so that they can love and support you as you go through this, so that you don't feel wishy-washy or indecisive, and so that you don't focus on quote-unquote the negative of this end, but instead see the positive as well. So that is just so interesting, and I hope it helps you, especially if you're kind of on the fence about something. I hope these 3 cards really help you organize your thoughts and think about it in a way that serves you. So thank you for watching. Before we go, I do want to tell you about the 2 things happening in June. So we do have a full moon coming up on June 9th. So I will be offering the recorded full moon readings where we do a full moon spread for you to let you know about what you can release and what you can think about during the full moon. So if you're interested in that, please check my website and tune in here next Sunday so I can tell you more about how you can order your full moon reading. That will be from the 9th, or that will be on the 9th. So you can order it anytime up to about the 8th, and then I'll deliver it to you by the 9th. So don't miss it, because then we want to get it to you on time, right? And then the second thing, starting in June, I will be offering a featured spread reading. There will be a limited number of them in June, just for about a 10-day or so period, where I'll be doing a featured spread that I'm really excited to tell you about. So stay on this channel, watch my upcoming Sunday videos so that you can see what the featured spread is and if you think it will be something that will help you, and then you can book one of those with me. So otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you here next Sunday. Bye-bye.